At the beginning of the story, we are shown an airport where we see a pilot named Brad. He is quickly heading towards the plane while also talking to his daughter on a video call. His daughter says that she watched the news this morning and it was reported that the area you're going to has very bad weather, which is why many other flights have been cancelled. So you should also cancel your flight and come back home. But Brad smiles and replies that he has safely flown planes in such weather many times before, so she shouldn't worry and that he'll be back home soon. Hearing this, his daughter feels happy and ends the call. After that, Brad enters the plane's cabin and meets the co-pilot. The co-pilot was a bit nervous because today was his first time flying a plane. Just then, a flight attendant. She comes and calls Brad outside, where a police officer tells Brad that due to an emergency, he will have to take a murderer named Tony with him. Tony is a very powerful and dangerous man who is accused of murder, and now he will be transported by plane to another country, where he will be imprisoned for life. The police officer tells Brad that they are giving him this responsibility because he is a capable and sensible pilot. Brad agrees and seats Tony in the very last row so that the other passengers won't be disturbed. After that, all the passengers take their seats, and Brad goes to the plane staff to confirm that everyone has boarded, after which the plane takes off. After reaching cruising altitude, Brad switches the plane to autopilot and starts talking with the co-pilot about his family. Brad shows the co-pilot a photo of his daughter on his phone and says that he loves his daughter very much, and that in this world, apart from each other, they have no one else. On the other hand, the passengers sitting in the plane are enjoying the journey, but they have no idea that something terrible is about to happen to them very soon. Both pilots sitting in the cabin were also happy, and the plane was flying normally. But then suddenly the weather turned bad, and the plane started to shake slightly, which made Brad anxious because he felt that something was not right. He announces for all the passengers to fasten their seatbelts and tries to contact the control tower via radio. But he is unable to do so because, due to the bad weather, all the radios here stop working. Then suddenly, a strong bolt of lightning strikes the plane, causing it to shake violently. Brad steps out of the cabin to check on the passengers. Seeing the passengers, Brad feels somewhat relieved because all the passengers were safe. But now, the lights were gradually going out. And just then, the plane is jolted several more times, causing Brad's head to hit the ceiling and he falls down, injuring his forehead. Seeing this situation, all the passengers started to panic. Brad quickly returns to the cabin and together with his colleague starts trying to control the plane. This was a very difficult time for them. Because of the bad weather, they couldn't see anything ahead. Brad says that we have to bring the plane down because if the plane takes another hit, it could be destroyed. They immediately start lowering the plane's altitude and the aircraft begins to descend rapidly. The passengers inside the plane were extremely frightened. Just then, the police officer who came with the criminal Tony drops his mobile phone. He unfastens his seatbelt to pick up his mobile phone. To help him, a flight attendant also unfastens her seatbelt and comes forward. Now, because the plane was rapidly descending, as soon as they unfastened their seatbelts, both of them were thrown forcefully upward and hit the ceiling. They hit the ceiling with such force that they die instantly. Meanwhile, the plane descends to a very low altitude and somehow the two pilots manage to regain control of the aircraft. But now, since there wasn't much power left in the plane, Brad couldn't get it to the airport, so he decides to bring the plane down and crash land it in the sea. But then, the two of them spot an island a short distance away, after which Brad steers the plane toward the island and decides to land there. After many difficulties, Brad finally manages to make an emergency landing on a road on the island. Luckily, in this emergency landing, all the passengers are safe and no one gets hurt. Just then, there's a short circuit at the back of the plane, which makes Brad happy because it means there's still a little bit of electricity left in the plane. After all the passengers have disembarked from the plane, a flight attendant tells Captain Brad that the police officer who was escorting the criminal Tony has been killed, and that a flight attendant has also been killed. Hearing this, Brad becomes extremely disheartened. On the other hand, the owner of the airline company notices that one of his planes has suddenly disappeared because he hadn't seen the plane land, and due to the radio being out of order for quite some time, he was also unable to contact the pilot. That's why the owner of the airline company calls a rescue expert named Scarsdale, who specializes in finding people who are trapped in difficult situations. The airline owner tells him, "I need all the details about my plane. Like where it went, where its workers and all the passengers are." After that, the rescue expert gets to work. On the other hand, all the passengers were wondering why they had landed here. Brad gathers all the passengers and explains to them that they had to land here because of an emergency. There is still a little bit of electricity left in the plane, which we can use to fix other things. In the meantime, you all stay here comfortably and don't panic. Very soon we'll get out of here, after which Brad goes back to the plane and starts working on fixing it. But he sees that the plane has very little power left, so they'll have to wait for help. They take out the map and start checking their location themselves to figure out exactly where they are. Brad's companion tells the pilot after looking at the map that they're stranded on a private island. This place is extremely dangerous. There are people here who don't listen to any government or authority. If these people catch us, our lives could be in danger, and even our government won't be able to save us. Hearing this, Brad says that no matter what, they have to call their rescue team here so they can come and save everyone, because that's the only way to get out of here. After that, the two of them start trying to fix the radio to call for help. But the radio was completely broken due to a lightning strike. Now Brad goes to all the passengers and tells them that the radio isn't working due to some malfunction, but asks everyone not to worry. Brad reassures them that they will go to the other side of the island to look for the radio, inform the control tower of their location, and ask them to send a rescue team who will come and save everyone. Here, Brad takes a very big step. He says that Tony will go with him. Saying this, he unlocks Tony's handcuffs. Here, Brad tells the co-pilot of the plane to start working on repairing the plane's power. I'll try to bring the rescue team here as soon as possible through any means of contact. After that, Tony and Brad head into the jungle to look for the radio. On the way, Tony thanks Brad for trusting him. Now we see the terrorist group living on this island, where a man comes running to them and tells the group's leader that a plane has landed on the island. He says that due to an emergency, there are a lot of people inside the plane, and they are from different countries. Hearing this, the group leader gives the man some money and tells his team to get ready. In the island's jungle, Brad and Tony are moving forward. Tony asks Brad, "Why did you set me free and where are you taking me now?" Then Brad tells him, "Because I can't put everyone in danger because of you, and there's a dangerous terrorist group here that you and I have to face together." Then Tony tells Brad, "I come from a military background and I've served in the US military for many years." After a while, Tony's voice from behind suddenly stops. When Brad turns around to look, Tony is no longer there. He had escaped from Brad and run away, leaving Brad to continue alone through the jungle. Moving further into the jungle, Brad enters an abandoned factory where he finds an old telephone. However, the telephone is broken, so Brad starts fixing the wires attached to the side of the phone, and soon the telephone starts working. Brad quickly calls the helpline of such a company. Brad tells the helpline his location and everything else, but due to some issue with the line, his voice isn't reaching the person on the other end properly, so the helpline operator hangs up on Brad. That's when Brad gets an idea. He calls his daughter and tells her to write down his location and all the other details on a piece of paper and deliver it to his office. Just then, during the conversation, a man comes from behind and attacks Brad, but Brad manages to overpower him with great difficulty and beats the man unconscious. Just then, Brad senses that another person is entering the room, so he quickly hides. That person is none other than Tony, who had fought off many goons and taken their weapons, and he calls out to Brad, telling him not to be afraid and to come out. Then, when Brad comes out, Tony hands him a gun for his protection. After that, when the two of them go down to the lower floor of the factory, they find a camera there. From the camera footage and the passports lying there, they find out that the terrorists living on this island kidnap people and demand a huge ransom from their families. And even when they get the money from the kidnapped person's family, instead of releasing them, they kill them. Seeing this, Brad realizes that our passengers are also in danger. After that, the two of them head outside and spot a car in front of them. This car belonged to one of the terrorists who was killed by Brad a little while ago. Now the two of them get into the car parked outside and start heading towards their passengers. Meanwhile, all the passengers are sitting and waiting for Brad, hoping that he will soon bring help for them. Just then, they hear the sound of a car approaching. Hearing the sound of the car, they become happy and assume that Brad has called a rescue team for them. But this is not a rescue team. It is actually the terrorists who live on this island. They start firing their guns to scare all the passengers. Brad and Tony also hear the sound of gunfire, and after that, they speed up the car, trying to reach the plane as quickly as possible. The leader of the terrorist group demands a list of all the passengers from the air hostess. Frightened, the air hostess quickly brings him the list. Then one of the gang members asks the co-pilot where the senior pilot is, to which the co-pilot replies that he went into the forest for some work but hasn't returned yet. Just then, Brad and Tony also arrive there, but they quietly watch these people from a distance. Meanwhile, a woman tries to escape from there, but they shoot her and kill her. Seeing this, Brad tries to go help them, but Tony stops him and says, "Stay calm, now is not the right time to go." The gang leader makes all the passengers sit in a bus and leaves 2 of his men there, telling them to go inside the plane and bring out any valuables they find. After that, they start taking all the passengers to their hideout. After the gang leaves, Brad starts getting angry at Tony, saying that they took our passengers and you didn't even let me go. To this, Tony explains to him that there were too many of them. Even if you had gone, you wouldn't have been able to fight such a big army alone. Now the 2 of them start heading towards the plane and catch the 2 goons who were stealing valuable items from the plane. At gunpoint, Brad asks them where their leader might have taken the passengers, to which one of them replies that they have a hideout not far from here, and that's probably where everyone went. On the other hand, Brad's daughter gives the paper written by Brad to the rescue expert, which contains the plane's location and all the details. With the help of a satellite, the rescue expert is able to determine the plane's location. They find out that the plane is stranded on an island, and they also learn that there is a dangerous terrorist group on this island. After this, the rescue officer calls the captain of his private army, explains the entire situation to him, and tells him to go to that island. The captain of the private army agrees, and along with his team, loads a bag full of money and several bags of weapons into the vehicle, getting ready to go to that island. On the other hand, Brad sees that before the terrorists took him away, the co-pilot of the ship had repaired the ship's power system, and Brad notices that the power has returned to the ship, which makes him very happy. Now Brad writes a message on his uniform for the incoming private army team and, along with Tony, heads to the place where the gang had taken all the plane's passengers. Making their way through the jungle, the 2 of them reach the terrorists' hideout. They quietly get out of the vehicle and sneak into the place where all the thugs are scaring the passengers and recording videos of them so they can send these videos to the families and extort money from them. On the other hand, the private team sent by the rescue expert also arrives at the plane. But when they don't find anyone there, the team leader goes inside the plane to check, where they find the bodies of 2 people. These were the 2 people whom the gang leader had ordered to steal all the valuables from the plane, but Brad killed both of them. The captain of the private team also finds a message left by Brad, which was the route to the terrorist gang's hideout. At the terrorists' hideout, Tony and Brad were secretly keeping an eye on them, and as soon as they got the chance, both of them quietly snuck up from behind and killed 2 terrorists. Then the 2 of them quietly move forward and reach outside a room. All the passengers had been locked up inside this room. Now, Brad wanted to rescue these people, but there were too many guards standing watch, and Brad didn't even have the key to unlock the door. After this, the 2 of them stealthily take down those guards, and Tony even picks up a hammer and takes out several guards with it. Here, Brad takes the key from one of the guards and frees the passengers from the room. He tells them to quickly get on the same bus that the terrorists had used to bring them here, and they all hurry and get on the bus. Just then, Tony comes to Brad and tells him that there is only one way out of here by vehicle, but there are many armed thugs standing there who will start shooting at us as soon as they see us. When Brad looks at the passengers, he sees that they are all extremely frightened. Now here Brad, risking his own life, makes a decision and tells Tony that he will distract all the terrorists present there, and Tony should take advantage of the opportunity to get all the passengers out of here. At first, Tony refuses to let Brad do this. He says that if you do this, they'll kill you, but Brad replies that we have no other option. Hearing this, Tony agrees. Brad leaves from there and goes to the terrorists. There, Brad talks to the gang leader and says that he has already informed for help. The rescue team will be here soon, so all the passengers should leave from here. Hearing this, all the gang members start laughing at Brad and begin to beat him up. The gang leader says, "How can I let anyone go without money? I don't let anyone go without it." And just as they are about to kill Brad, a private rescue team arrives and attacks the terrorists. After a prolonged gunfight, they kill many members of the gang, rescue Brad, and carry him onto the bus to get him out of there. Here, the gang leader sees that along with many of his men, his younger brother has also been killed. Seeing this, he becomes extremely angry and swears that he won't spare a single one of these people and will hunt down and kill every last one of them. After this, he tells his team to get ready quickly. "We will soon set out to kill these people." On the bus, the captain of the private team tells everyone that they are just a small private team of 5 people who have come here only to save you, and that they are not a rescue team. It will take some more time for the rescue team to arrive here. Hearing this, Brad gets nervous and says that we don't have time because the gang members will be after us soon and will kill us on sight, and I have an idea. As soon as they reach the plane, Brad tells all the passengers that the power is back on in the plane, which means the plane will start now and we will leave here immediately. So everyone, get on the plane quickly because we are not waiting for the rescue team. They will take time to get here, and if we stay, we will be killed by those terrorists. Hearing this, everyone boards the plane while Brad gets busy checking everything on the plane, and the private team members get ready for the danger they know is coming. Suddenly, the terrorist group arrives and attacks them. Seeing this, the private team starts trying to stop them, and a heavy exchange of gunfire breaks out on both sides. The private team has some really good guns, which allows them to kill many of the thugs. Brad quickly tells the leader of the private team that he is going to start the plane in the next 5 minutes, and that they should all board the plane quickly. After this, Brad goes to Tony and thanks him for standing by him during such a difficult time. Dodging bullets, Brad manages to get inside the plane, sits in his cabin, and along with his companion starts working with the pilot to get the plane started. Meanwhile, Tony runs out of bullets, and when he checks the private team's bag to look for more, he finds a bag full of money there. But Tony leaves the money behind, takes bullets from another bag, and starts fighting the terrorists again. Meanwhile, by then, Brad also turns the plane to the right side. Now, the private team's soldiers start boarding the plane one by one, and Tony provides them with cover fire. Because the power comes back, the radio also starts working again. Now the owner of the plane company tells Brad that he'll tell him a safe place where he can go. Now everyone boards the plane, except for Tony. He grabs the bag full of money and tries to escape, because if he goes back on the plane with them, the police will catch him again and throw him in jail. The gang leader, seeing his men dying, goes mad with rage. He brings a rocket launcher in front of the plane, planning to blow them all up in one go. But at just the right moment, Tony spots him. Tony quickly picks up a gun and shoots him, saving everyone's lives. Seeing this, Brad is very pleased with what Tony has done, and with all his strength, Brad finally manages to get the plane off the ground. Seeing this, Tony feels happy for all the passengers and Brad and runs off into the jungle with the bag full of money. Brad flies the plane away from the island, and the owner of the plane tells him about an airport nearby where they could go, which was now quite close to them. Brad steers the plane toward the location indicated by the airline company owner. But just then, once again, the plane's engine catches fire and the plane starts to break apart. So Brad activates the emergency warning again and slowly tries to bring the plane down onto the runway. Finally, after a great struggle, Brad manages to land the plane on the runway and everyone's lives are saved. Brad and his co-pilot are very happy. Meanwhile, the owner of the airline company and his team were also extremely happy. Now Brad goes to the back to check on the passengers and sees that all the passengers are safe, which brings peace to his heart. All the passengers standing there start clapping for Brad and thank him. In just a short while, the rescue team also arrives for them, and seeing this, all the passengers become happy. Here, Brad sends all the passengers off with the rescue team, and the captain, finally breathing a sigh of relief, sits on the plane's stairs and talks to his daughter on a call. With this, the story comes to an end. If you liked the video, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and like the video.